Hello, everybody. So it's been a while since I've done anything. There's many reasons for that. I've been on vacation, um, life in general. I've had other stuff going on and haven't been able to be on, as much as I would have liked. Um, Next month, actually, I'm going to Texas. I don't know if anyone's seen my shows about Aaliyah. A friend of mine, her daughter was found hung, and the police were quickly said it was a suicide. So I'll be going to Houston with her, and we have a meeting with the mayor, and hopefully we're trying to get in with the chief of police to see if we can get the case reopened. So I'll be doing that next month, and I will be videoing it and keeping you up to date with that. So here we are with now my last video. I did say that I wasn't going to cover Foodie Beauty Chantal Marie anymore because it felt like I was almost in the French Revolution, where the old women would sit at the foot of the guillotine and wait for the guillotine to drop on the heads of the aristocrats that they were beheading at the time, and they'd bring their packed lunch and sandwiches and gossip and as soon as their head was chopped off, whoa, they'd be there. That's what it felt like I was watching. I'm basically, sorry about that. I don't know why that popped up. It felt like I was basically watching somebody die, kill themselves live here on YouTube. Why YouTube allows this, I don't know. It enrages me. That might be my next little pet project. This type of thing shouldn't be allowed to go on. It really shouldn't. I think it's disgraceful. Now, does Foodie Beauty Chantal get a bad rap overall? So as I said in my very first video I did on this, I'm not quite sure how I came across her. I think, I'm interested in cooking and different foods, different countries, and I was kind of looking at that, and she popped up in my feed. I think I saw her first, and then French Fried Girl popped up when I started watching her. But when I first started watching Chantal, I did feel great empathy for her. I thought, oh my goodness, she must have had like a horrible, life. What the hell happened here? And some of her videos from the back then, a lot of the reaction channels play them over and over. And I hadn't seen them all, to be honest. And when I watched French Fried Girl, I didn't understand where the hatred and vitriol came from. I didn't really understand it. So I started kind of looking back at French Fried Girl, also Yabba, YouTube Underground, and some of the other channels, Alex is Shook, Pulpy Syntax, Mr. Snowflake is more recent. I love his work. He's doing a series on Chantal at the moment. He's up to episode 4. I suggest, if you're interested, go watch it from the beginning. It's very enlightening, if you will, because he was unaware, a little bit like myself, as to what the hell was going on here, Anyway, so I kind of looked back, and then it slowly, I could see why French Fried Girl feels the way she does. Everyone I mention, and if I show clips, I'm going to put their channels in the description so you can look for yourself. French Fried Girl, in my opinion, is hilarious. She just cracks me up. So does Yabba, YouTube Underground, and even though the hatred between French Fried Girl and Chantal is off the chain, French Fried Girl offers some good advice. I've said this before. even like with garlic bread. I watch him more if I want to catch up quick, simply because what he does, every vlog, if you call them that, that Chantal puts up, he'll come right after her and do a commentary on it. And it's about 10 minutes. It's not very long, but he brings you up to speed and he offers his opinion on a lot of it. And his opinion, like I've said before, a lot of it makes sense. You know, he's not being evil with her. He's telling her, you know, and a lot of it for her own good, but she doesn't want to listen to anyone, not anyone. She knows everything. She's going to do it her own way. And so does she get a bad rap on here? I mean, she's got, I've lost count of how many channels, excuse me, of how many channels go after her in a way. You know, it's not that they all go after her, it's that they're giving their opinion on what they've seen before them. And some of it, you know, is not so good. It doesn't make Chantal happy. She accuses them of, sorry, my earring. She accuses them of piggybacking off of her, making money from her content, using her content. She can't take any form of criticism, none whatsoever. And some of it is constructive, as I've said before. So let's, you know, and I actually wasn't even going to bother with this, but there have just been so disturbing things going on in Kuwait recently that it's hard not to. It's hard not to. So I guess I've become, I'll get my knitting out as I'm talking. I've become one of the old women at the foot of the guillotine, if you will. Anyway, so let's get into it. Right. So Chantal went back to Kuwait. Originally, she had gone to Canada for health reasons. You know, healthcare in Kuwait can run fairly expensive. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Chantal, I believe, in my opinion, needs inpatient treatment. She's not capable of not eating. Her every waking moment is food. Her conversations are about food. Food when she was a child. Memories of her mother making certain dishes. Her on one of her shows, she said that, you know, she remembers her first bag of chips, and they were dill pickle chips. I can't remember anything I ate when I was a child, to be honest. I mean, you grow up with certain foods. Britain and Canada and New Zealand and Australia, because there's a lot of British, you know, in those countries, and, you know, at one point, you know, Great Britain was an empire. We have similar foods like roast dinner, shepherd's pie. They cook them slightly differently. Chantal made a shepherd's pie and ate the whole freaking thing. And it was cooked very differently to how we do it. But, you know, you are brought up on these comfort foods. So I understand, you know, what she's saying there, because there are things, I've been in America a long time, and there are still foods that I miss from England. You know, my number one favorite would be fish and chips, you know, and as soon as I go back to London, that's what I get, because I've been thinking about it. So I understand that part. And so anyway, so she goes back to Kuwait. She's in Canada for a hot minute. a lot of the reaction channels and a lot of people feel, and I also feel, she went to renew her visa. Even though she says they're married, as I've said before, they married under some sort of loophole. There are such things in Kuwait as temporary marriages. And I don't know if this is one or not, but what we do know is every 3 months, she's got to leave the country, renew her visa and come back. Now, Kuwait at the minute have passed a new law where they're kicking people out, essentially. So I don't know exactly the ins and outs of it, but it's time for visa renewal time again. And Chantal keeps saying, yeah, oh yes, we're going to travel. We want to travel. We want to travel. Whether Canada's going to be on the cards again, I don't think so. Which is the reason originally why she went to Thailand to renew her visa. And she keeps going on about, you know, traveling, and I've been to Thailand, I've been to Cuba, I've been whatever. But, you know, the thing was, when she was in Thailand, most of the time. Now, some of the reaction channels say that she didn't go out and stuff. They did go out. I mean, they did. They went to the tiger sanctuary, which she got big shit for, because the tigers were all drugged and declawed and looked, you know, it wasn't pleasant. And they went and saw some temples, and they went to the markets to eat. And Chantal mentioned it the other day. They were in the street, and there was this woman with a baby, and she was selling flowers. And she asked Chantal, "Are you pregnant?" And Chantal felt that she was being fat shamed. But that I don't think the woman was even thinking about fat shaming or even knew what fat shaming was. Chantal looks like she's expecting triplets, never mind one baby. And so naturally the woman would ask, "Are you pregnant?" You know, and she said no, you know, and so the woman started laughing and said, "Oh, food." You know, and I think that resonated. Chantal pretended that didn't bother her, but wherever they went, you know, especially the markets, and they've got like a lot of food stalls, you know, and she would stop virtually everyone. Everything was about food. People would look at her, they would take pictures of her. I mean, I don't blame her. I don't think I would want to come out too. You know, I'd be like, oh my God. You know, if you're being pointed at and ridiculed everywhere you go. And like I said before, she keeps talking about Japan. Don't go to Japan, don't go to Korea till you lose some weight. Because if you go to these countries, I mean, I'm not saying they don't have obese people there, they do. Japan, I think the most obese people they have in Japan are the sumo wrestlers. And I don't think they have women sumo wrestlers. I don't. But you know, Korea, those type of places, they're going to be looking, you know, you're going to be ridiculed. And as long as you know that and can handle that, fine. But Chantal pretends it doesn't bother her, but it does. You can see that it does. And it would bother anybody in any event. So she goes back to Kuwait. And her reasoning was that Salah, the husband that she met online and married within a month, is going to help her. He's going to help her on a weight loss journey. She doesn't need Canada after all. She can do what she can do in Canada in Kuwait. It was just ridiculous. I just thought, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. You know, because I was quite glad when she went back to Canada, because then she would get the medical attention that she needs. Personally, I feel she needs inpatient treatment. I don't think she's capable of doing this on her own. She needs inpatient treatment, get her on track, and then go from there. She's not going to do this. Ozempic, Wegovy, those type of drugs, they're not going to help either. She doesn't want those type of drugs because they do curb your appetite, and she doesn't want to curb her appetite. She wants to eat what she wants to eat. And so she goes back to Kuwait, and basically everything's the same. Salah is an enabler. I don't know if he's a feeder or not, or what his deal is as far as Chantal. I mean, we know what his deal is. You know, I think originally he's had a come up since he's been with Chantal, where they live, new car. Now, you know, money's not as in abundance, shall we say, as it was. However, it's still a better lifestyle than he had before he met Chantal. So it might be that he doesn't want to give that up. As far as him getting into Canada, I don't know. I don't know if, you know, he's not Kuwaiti, he's from Syria. So that might play a role. Not only that, Chantal really has no home in Canada anymore. I mean, she has relatives, a mother and aunt and people like that, but she doesn't really have, she doesn't have a place to live. Income, I don't know that Canada would take YouTube income as an income because it's precarious, isn't it? I mean, some months you're going to make more than others. Some months you might not hardly make anything. So I think if Salah were to get into Canada, she would have to get her mother, aunt, someone would have to sponsor him. Now, is that impossible? No. You know, are they really married as well is an issue. Her staying in Kuwait is going to be an issue, you know, but we'll see what happens there, because it was supposed to be the 17th of June that people were supposed to get the hell out. And they've extended that, I believe, to the end of June. So we'll see what happens there. Anyway, so she gets back and just does a normal, you know, she pretends to be eating healthily and smaller portions, but she's not. She's not. She has a binge eating disorder, so she's just eating mindlessly, just eating whatever. But trying to kind of make the audience think, oh no, I'm trying here, you know, Salah's helping me. No, Salah's helping her into the grave, is what Salah is doing. But in any event, so, oh God. So she has a health issue. No shock there. Her blood sugar becomes just completely out of control. She wasn't taking her medication. She was on metformin. And what she was doing was, like I said in the last couple of videos, she was, you know, she'd get into this state and then go to the hospital, go to the emergency room and get insulin, you know, and that kind of sorted her out for a minute, and it does, but it's not like a forever fix. You know, sooner or later, the way she's going now, she's going to need insulin daily. She's going to run into kidney failure. She already suffers with other stuff. I'm pretty sure she's got a fatty heart. The list is endless. And you have to think about it. Her spine is a normal spine. She's 5'1". She's very short. So she tried to say when she got back she had lost like 15 kgs, whatever that is. I don't know. In England, we do pounds. In not pounds, stone. I think there's 13 pounds to a stone. And she tried to say she had lost weight, but she was bigger than ever. She's minimum 400, 420, I would say, and getting bigger every day. Now, again, this is her choice. It's her life. But I think it's wrong to promote this on YouTube. You've got, and I'll explain that next video. You've got young ears on here looking at this, and I personally think it's wrong. But you know, hey, it's her life. She can eat what she wants. You know. Anyway, so she has a health crisis. So let's take a look at the first video where she explains her health crisis. Okay.
Guys, welcome back to another video. So this video is actually going to be about my previous video, and I'm doing a lemon mukbang. Ooh, the pleasure and the pain. If my skin looks like oily, it's because I haven't been moisturizing my face. For sure. So I haven't really been using it. Like I go through bouts where I just don't care about my skincare routine. So now I care. And I know that sounds so weird. If you're not inside my head, you probably will never get it. I'm trying my best to make you guys understand, but so I use this other moisturizer, Peace.
The perfect Father's Day gift is the one that is driven home from Toyota of New Bern. Drive new Tundras, 0% for 60 months. Backed by our family pledge. Visit Toyota of New Bern today.
We're more than just a dealership.
Rowing is boring and hard, but it's a full body workout that engages 86% of muscles.
In life, good and bad, and regardless of the reception of them, basically. So I'll probably drink a lot of water in between. There's quite a few new people.
Just very quickly, sorry to interrupt here. She drinks gallons and gallons and gallons of water, diet drinks. You're constantly thirsty, Chantel, because the diabetes is out of control.
That are watching me now. I see a lot of comments. I'm new here. So in case you, actually a lot of my videos are privated, my old ones, so you can't really go back and see like the health journey from the beginning in a lot of ways. So basically, I'll just give you like a recap of my health issues. And then I'll explain what's wrong with me now. So where do I even start? Actually, I'll just start with like obesity related illnesses. I don't want to get into like my whole health history, but currently the illnesses I have that are related to my morbid obesity. So I have sleep apnea, which I've had for years now. I don't even know how many years. I would have to think, and my brain's not braining. So it's been years since I've had that. Had the whole sleep study done, which is horrible, by the way. I don't know. Like when I'm forced to sleep at a certain time, it just doesn't work for me. So, so that was interesting. But I got diagnosed with sleep apnea. How I knew I had sleep apnea, I get asked that a lot, was actually my mother noticed. Wow, my eyes look bloodshot. I'm just tired. So some weird noises going on. I hope they're not too distracting. So I went to a cabin with my family. My grandfather rented a cabin when he came down from Florida, and the whole family stayed there. This was years ago, maybe in 2000, maybe in 2018, 2017, 2018. I was always tired because I wasn't getting good sleep. And I would wake up. One indicator was I would wake up with pounding headaches. I would wake up in the night, just choking, and I wouldn't know why. And then one time I fell asleep on the sofa, sitting up, even with my mom was there, and she's like, cutie, you're you need to get sleep apnea assessment because you're keep waking up and gasping for air. So, until I had my sleep study, I would sleep propped up on the couch in my apartment. And yeah, it was not fun. So finally, when I had my CPAP machine, it was it was a relief, I could sleep well, and I've had it since. So I have sleep apnea, and if you don't get that rectified, it's very dangerous.
Okay, so that's the first ailment, sleep apnea. Now, she's had this for years. The problem is now that Chantel gets out of breath just getting up and walking to the kitchen. Eating, she gets out of breath. Talking, she gets out of breath. And she uses the CPAP machine like an oxygen tank. So it might be time now to go back to the doctor and let him know this. She can't walk far at all. I mean, 2 minutes of walking and she's panting for breath. Just to get up to go into the kitchen, she's, laboring. So she may need actual oxygen. You can't use the CPAP as an oxygen tank. It's not an oxygen tank. Yes, it helps you sleep, but no, I think it's probably time that she needs oxygen.
It increases your blood pressure, and it's not, you have to get it treated eventually, because it can lead to heart problems and sometimes death if I'm left untreated. So then a few years ago, I also had pulmonary embolisms, which I've had twice. The first time, I just noticed a lot of chest pain, and that went into my back and in the lung area. And I was so short of breath, more than usual. I couldn't even, and I just couldn't do anything without, walking a few steps, I would be so out of breath, and more than usual. So I went to the hospital, and they did a blood test and found, it's called a D-dimer test, and they found that I did have blood clots. And they did a CT scan, and they found I did have blood clots. I had some pulmonary embolism in my lung. So they put me on warfarin, Coumadin, and which is, for people who are overweight, the most effective option. But I had to get regular blood tests, INR tests, which were a pain until I bought my own machine. But before that, I had to go to the lab, I think it was every week maybe. And so I asked to be put on another medication. So they put me on another medication at my request. Then they did warn me about the potential issues, but they thought there would be a chance it would be okay. Because there's a risk of, if you're put on a medication, a certain for people over a certain weight, mostly only Coumadin will work. So they put me on a different one where I wouldn't have to have the test done anymore. But the pulmonary embolism came back because it wasn't working. The medication wasn't working. So I went back on the Coumadin. So, which I'm not on anymore. I know a lot of people are going to think that's so dumb and risky, because they did like test in my legs to see like where the deep vein thrombosis, like to see if it was caused by a deep vein thrombosis, basically a blood clot in my legs or something. So they scanned my legs. It didn't originate from there. So they're not really sure where, but you are at a very high risk of developing blood clots if you are sedentary and if you are overweight. So that's another thing I had. So then I recently was diagnosed.
That's another thing I had. That's another thing that you have. It doesn't just disappear because you stop taking medication. Everything you're talking about right now, you have. It's not what you had.
In 2023, was it 2023? It was like recently diagnosed with diabetes. I've had really high blood sugar for a long time, so I've probably had the diabetes for a long time. So I have that type 2. So yeah, those are currently the obesity related illnesses that I have. Like sitting up, even with my mom was there and she's like, you know, cutie, you're like, you know, you need to get like sleep apnea assessment because you're like keep waking up and like gasping for air. So until I had my sleep study, I would sleep like propped up on the couch in my apartment. And yeah, it was not fun. So finally, when I had my CPAP machine, it was like, oh, it was like a relief, you know, I could sleep well, and I've had it since. So I have sleep apnea, and if you don't get that rectified, it's very dangerous.
Okay, so that's the first ailment, sleep apnea. Now, she's had this for years. The problem is now that Chantel gets out of breath just getting up and walking to the kitchen. Eating, she gets out of breath. Talking, she gets out of breath. And she uses the CPAP machine like an oxygen tank. So it might be time now to go back to the doctor and let him know this. She can't walk far at all. I mean, 2 minutes of walking and she's panting for breath. You know, just to get up to go into the kitchen, she's, you know, laboring. So she may need actual oxygen. You know, you can't use the CPAP as an oxygen tank. It's not an oxygen tank. You know, yes, it helps you sleep, but no, I think it's probably time that she needs oxygen.
It increases your blood pressure, and yeah, it's not, you have to get it treated eventually because it can lead to like heart problems and sometimes death if I'm left untreated. So then a few years ago, I also had pulmonary embolisms, which I've had twice. The first time I just noticed a lot of chest pain, and like that went into my back and like in the lung area. So, and I was like so short of breath, more than usual. I couldn't even, and I just like, you know, couldn't do anything without, well, like walking a few steps, I would be so out of breath, and more than usual. So I went to the hospital and they did a blood test and found, like, it's called a D-dimer test, and they found that I did have blood clots, and they did a CT scan and they found I did have blood clots. I had some pulmonary embolism in my lung. So they put me on warfarin, Coumadin, and which is for people who are overweight, the most effective option. But I had to get regular blood tests, INR tests, which were a pain until I bought my own machine. But before that, I had to go to the lab. Like, I think it was like I don't remember, every week maybe. And so I asked to be put on another medication. So they put me on another medication at my request. And they did warn me about the potential issues, but they thought there would be a chance it would be okay. Because there's a risk of, if you're put on a medication, like a certain like for people over a certain weight, mostly only Coumadin will work. So they put me on a different one where I wouldn't have to have the test done anymore. But the pulmonary embolism came back because it wasn't working. The medication wasn't working. So I went back on the Coumadin. So, which I'm not on anymore. I know a lot of people are going to think that's so dumb and risky, because they did like tests in my legs to see like where the deep vein thrombosis, like to see if it was caused by a deep vein thrombosis, basically a blood clot in my legs or something. So they scanned my legs. It didn't originate from there. So they're not really sure where, but you are at a very high risk of developing blood clots if you are sedentary and if you are overweight. So that's another thing I had. So then I recently was diagnosed.
That's another thing I had. That's another thing that you have. It doesn't just disappear because you stop taking medication. Everything you're talking about right now, you have. It's not what you had.
Diagnosed with that here in Kuwait. I saw a doctor, and they...
You see, this is why Chantal is so disliked, because that's a lie. She was diagnosed with diabetes back in Canada. She knew she had diabetes. She ignored it and continued to eat the way she eats, take out every day, that type of thing. You were not diagnosed for the first time in Kuwait, because there are videos of you when you were at the villa talking about the fact that you had diabetes. So this is why it's just silly little lies like this that make no sense. It doesn't matter where really when you were diagnosed. The fact is you've been diagnosed with it and you're choosing the path you're choosing, and that is your right.
Through like urinalysis, they do a urinalysis panel and blood work, found a high level of protein in my urine. So my kidneys, the beginning of having issues with my kidneys, which
during this period now, she starts to have serious issues with her kidneys. She describes going to the bathroom to urinate and her urine coming out like barbecue sauce. Thick, wet, gross barbecue sauce. Now, and that's what it looked like, her urine. So that tells you there's blood in the urine. She said it smelled like maple or something, which is, I don't know. A lot of people have been put off barbecue sauce ever since, to be honest. But yeah, so now there's kidney issues on top of that.
which is common with people with type 2. I was told to drink a lot of water, especially with the medication for diabetes I was taking. And that brings me now to recently I've noticed like a very high increase in urination, like just always needing to urinate, like maybe every half an hour, literally, like just having to urinate. And I would have like pain in my side, like in the kidney area, like in my back. And I was feeling like after, like at the end of when I would go to the washroom, it would like, I don't know how to explain, you know, that uncomfortable feeling when you have like a UTI. And I just felt nauseous a lot, like sick to my stomach. So come to find out, I have a mild, like a kidney infection. It's not like severe. So I'm on antibiotics for that now, and Salah picked me up some cranberry like extract that helps with like this issue at the pharmacy. And I'm trying to drink a lot of water. And just, you know, I'm so tired from this. Hi, baby girl. And, you know, I'm just trying to feel better. So I'm resting a lot and, yeah, doing what I can.
Now, before I play this update, I guess she'd had a really bad day. She didn't cam up. It's a blank screen, and she's just talking into the screen. Another thing with Chantal, which I find kind of odd, but maybe not, because you know, she doesn't work. She doesn't do anything all day except eat and sleep with a CPAP on, and then get on YouTube, obviously, to make money. And you know, I don't blame her for that. I don't think she should necessarily be ridiculed because she's making a living from YouTube, but it's how she's making this living, you know. Anyway, so she gives us an update. So let's have a listen to the update.
My Hut Box. Starting at $6.99, it's the...
Hi, guys. So I'm sure most of you have been waiting for this. I apologize in advance for the quality of this video because I don't really have the energy to edit, even put pictures up for you. I can't. So it's not going to be edited, so there's going to be a lot of pauses and stuff like that. Well, I'm alive, barely. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it was, the 19th, maybe around noon. I started feeling really dizzy and nauseous, and like I just want to sleep. So I went to bed, and it just kind of went downhill from there. I had chills, fever. I don't know if you guys have ever had a fever dream. Oh my gosh, they're so weird. So those were fun. I would wake up drenched in sweat. That's still happening, the waking up drenched in sweat. I haven't eaten like anything since the 19th, except for I tried having like water, and then I tried having water with salt, sea salt and lemon, and that's just too gross, and I know I'll throw it up. So I only threw up once, but the nausea's bad. I had a few berries, like fresh blueberries. Those were pretty good, but I don't have really much of an appetite, but I'm gonna try, for energy's sake, to have something healthy, just even a few bites, because I want to try to get the energy to go see a doctor. So, I'll have to keep you guys updated on what happens at the doctor. So, I think this has been the most sick I've ever been in my life, honestly. I don't know how to explain it, just like headache, dizzy, the nausea, the chills, the fever. Being thirsty.
Everything she is describing is because her type 2 diabetes is out of control and untreated. She's not taking her metformin. She's not taking any of her medications. This is to be expected. This is the slippery slope, if you
You
will.
just flew on your face? That's insane. I hope you get better. And it comes with the mop machine. And, whoa, cool. I wish I didn't have to have this, but. Okay, so it comes with this pouch, this little thing. I don't know what that is for. All of these are lancets, and all of these are strips, so 100 each. And the lancer and the machine. Like, when did they think? Did they give you something for the swelling at least? What the heck? In fact, if it affects your vision, you know? Sorry to hear that. Let me know how it goes. Hi, GGBK. Blood glucose monitoring system. And it comes with the mop machine. And, whoa, cool. I wish I didn't have to have this, but. Okay, so it comes with this pouch, this little thing. I don't know what that is for. All of these are lancets, and all of these are strips, so 100 each. And the lancer and the machine. Really, BBW Layla? Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, Golden Girl, I hope you feel better. Jeez. No, I don't have COVID. Or COVID. Hi, SUP. I'm set for a while, yeah. Diabetes Debbie. My other meter's okay. It's like in the drawer here, but it's just cracked, and I ran out of lancets and that, so I figure may as well just get a whole new machine, you know? No, Roach, it's called being fat. That's what causes the face swelling.
Okay, so what happened here is Chantel did have a glucose monitor that the screen had cracked, and so she was using it here and there, I guess. And but the readings, you know, you can't go on those readings with a broken machine. So it looks like she went and bought a new one, a more, you know, up to date one by the looks of it, and we've seen this a couple of times since she bought this. I guess it's in a drawer somewhere gathering dust. No longer in use, which is unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
Reverse insulin resistance by, I don't know if you can cure diabetes, but you can reverse insulin resistance by proper diet and exercise. Yeah, you can. Yes. Thanks, Snoozy. Guys.
Hi, we're Visible. Getting set to travel this summer and need a wireless plan that'll keep you connected on the go?
Oh. Okay. That wasn't bad. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I forgot to put the strip. Shit. Freaking machine. What? It says E4. What does that mean? Hi, Gloria. Let me just figure this out, guys. I hate this crap. Putting a new thing. I'm so dumb. Obviously, I have to put the strip in before I just pick my finger. Why am I like this? Do it again. Where's my swab? Sorry, guys. Hi, Colleen. No, he's not sick. I thought he was like, he wasn't feeling good for about a day, and that's it. Corey and Eleventi. Hi, everybody. Scrape Goat. Feeling a lot better, so I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to test and I don't want to test my blood until like 2 hours after I eat something. And like when I'm fasting, right? So I woke up, so I should be fasting. Hi, Jessica. Celeste here. My living room is so cute. Thanks, Mila. No, I'm not going to eat something and test. You have to wait 2 hours. Hey, Wolf Pup. Yeah, ICP. For sure. Okay, I'm going to go wash my hands.
Okay, so what happened here is she hasn't obviously taken her blood sugar in quite a while. She forgot how to use the machine, and she hadn't washed her hands either. It just makes no sense. In any event, so she goes to wash her hands and comes back and takes her blood sugar. Now, we'll see what that is and then go from there.
All right, let's try wash hand with soap. Sick of this. I'm sick of it. I'm seriously sick of it. This is concerning. The hell? $22? No, that can't be right. What the hell? 22.6? That's insane. I don't know.
So what happened is, as the meter was counting down, she saw 2, 4, and she started smiling because she thought, oh, it's normal. I thought that said 226, not 22.6. But I could be wrong about that because it was very a fleeting glance. But it looked like it said 226 to me. But I could be wrong about that, like I said. But that is that's, you know, as I told you all before, mine at one point was 200. And it's hospital time. You know, I personally didn't end up going to the hospital. The doctor gave me some medicine. I took the medicine and then I followed what they said and brought mine down that way. Chantal, however, doesn't do that. Well, what happens is after this, actually, I got it wrong. I think it's after this that she goes to the doctor and, you know, re-ups her medication and starts taking her medication. And then slowly the sugar levels come down, but still not to where they should be. Yeah, and so then she tries to kind of blame the machine. And in a minute, they'll take Salas to see if the machine is working.
But it's been high like that before. Like a few times. Blood sugars go high when ill. That is why DKA usually happens when sick. What is 777? Okay, I'm just gonna take my medication and see what happens in like a couple days. But I'm gonna see a doctor. Don't worry. I didn't eat. Maybe the device is wrong. I did. I just washed my hands with soap. I don't know. But anyway. How come it's not picking you? I don't get it.
I have no blood. But how I am alive? Okay, my finger is numb now.
I'm not getting any blood from you.
Yeah, huh? I can't see blood. This one.
That's not enough.
Why?
It's not enough. It won't be enough for the machine. Oh, there we go. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
It's coming out.
All right. Salah's blood. 5. Perfect. Like perfect.
Which only proves to the fact there's nothing wrong with the machine. She's laughing here, but she's dying inside. You know, she's not happy about this at all. And this is where I think this was a turning point for her. And she decided, you know, okay, she's going to get on track. And so most people were, you know, quite happy with that. But, you know, going on Chantal's past history, let me get rid of this right quick. Hold on. Okay, going on her past history. It's not nothing's going to change here. Let's put it that way. And she's right. It is her life. She can eat what she wants. She can do what she wants. But it's frustrating for people that are really trying and that have the same thing, and they're really like, oh God, this hearing, and they're really trying, and to see this, it is sickening. So, but I'll play devil's advocate for a minute. Going back in time a little bit, I'm just going to play this for you, and I'm going to end this particular video. In part 2, we're going to go back a little bit and look at Chantel a little bit more closely as to why she's ended up this way. Is it all her fault? Some people say yes, some people say no. I'm kind of conflicted on it. I say no on one part of me says no because obviously something happened to her. Who knows what from a child and whatever. Like I said before, there was a video, and the reaction channels play it all the time, the audio of her saying, my father was my uncle. My father was my uncle. And I don't think that's something somebody just says. Maybe that's the case. Maybe there's obviously mental illness, which we're going to see. It's on full display. And she doesn't deny that. She says she has mental issues. And I think, that's really where it starts. You've got to take care of that first. And then, deal with the rest of it, which is why I just think inpatient treatment would be a better alternative for her, be that in Kuwait or Canada. I don't know what it would cost in Kuwait, but I think it's something that she should really, really look into. So I'm going to leave you with this last video. And it says a lot. It says a lot, this video. This video bothers me. It's just a quick thing. Hang on. Okay, so, and this video, by the way, is from Just Sayin's channel, which I will put in the description. Take a look at that channel. They do a lot of Chantal clips from the past and present, and it kind of opens your eyes a little bit as to who Chantal
happened to me when I was in school. Something very cruel, and I never told anybody about it because it's so humiliating, and I don't know if I'll ever be ready to talk about it. I've never told anybody about it, not even my mother, and I think that's partly why I have so much hatred towards humanity, towards people, because I've been treated like pure shit from so many people for no reason. That really hurt me. And how do you forgive that? How do you do it? And I'm speaking from the heart, and I know this is really morbid, but I want to forgive them. But a part of me really wants to collect them, lock them in a basement, and watch them rot, and then set them on fire. That's how much hatred I have. And I feel like I do need to talk to somebody before it just eats me alive, And I wonder, like, why do I hurt myself for what other people have done to me when I didn't deserve it? Why? Does that make any sense?